That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 24, and we are covering April of 1998, Unforgiven, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Dude Love. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, how you doing this week?
Doing good, man. Doing well. Hey, how about King Kong Bundy, huh?
Yeah, 61 years old, was it?
Yeah, which is crazy. When I saw the age, I thought, I thought he was in his 70s. Because I figured he was a lot older during WrestleMania 2, but he was actually in the prime of his career.
In his 20s?
Yeah, he was 29.
Yeah, when you're a little kid, somebody that's in their 20s looks like a big adult to you. And never mind the fact that he's like 6'7", 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Because he's going to look old and he's bald.
Yeah.
You know, the bald thing kind of throws you off, too, because if you had hair, you might look younger.
Yeah, that too. Everyone bald just seems a lot older when you're younger.
Then his ring gear was kind of bland, too, so it looked like he was from years ago, like he wrestled in the 50s with Gorilla Monsoon, the 50s and 60s.
That's still no cause of death yet. I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, they haven't reported anything.
Interesting to see, because I know he wasn't on the best of terms with the WWE.
No, because he was always talking shit in shoot interviews.
Yeah, and he was part of that litigation about the safety of the wrestlers, that class action suit or whatever.
Yep.
He was one of the big. I think he was one of the big front runners on that. Don't quote me, but I thought I saw that. But funny, obviously our friend Marty, he texted me today. He never texted me about wrestling. Did he text you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he said he texted me. He's like, he remembers when he was younger, King Kong Bundy yelled at him to speak up at an autograph signing because
Really?
Marty was very shy. He was young and scared, and King Kong Bundy asked him what his name was, and Marty said it low and he couldn't hear him, and he yelled at Marty and was like, "Speak up in a louder voice." So I thought that was kind of funny.
That was funny.
So Marty always remembers King Kong Bundy because of that. It's funny.
Marty got punked by King Kong Bundy.
Yeah. Nowadays, Marty would try to fight him.
Yeah, he would. And yeah, King Kong Bundy, part of the first 3 WrestleManias. Obviously WrestleMania 2 in the main event. That was the first steel cage match I can remember watching too. It was Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy, and they get busted open in that match. Oh, good memory there. And obviously, WrestleMania 3.
Childhood great.
WrestleMania 3 had the match with the minis, midgets at the time, minis today. Little Lord Littlebrook, Little Tokyo, Little Beaver. They're very creative with the names of the minis.
Jeez,
little this, little that. It's kind of like late 90s, early 2000s rappers.
Or now, there's a resurgence of little.
Oh, yeah, that's
little
right.
rappers.
Little's back. Got a lot of little rappers.
My brother had a funny joke the other day. He's like, "Oh, they need to make a rapper named Little Asso."
Little asshole? Little asshole.
Yeah. I don't know. It was funny.
All right, so let's get into what we got going on today. So as I said at the opening, we got April. We're continuing April. We did a little bit of April last week when we covered McMahon, Stone Cold and McMahon's confrontation and the match that they were supposed to have, and that's where we left off with the match that didn't happen because Dude Love came out and he was gonna put the mandible claw on Vince McMahon, but then Austin was sneaking up on him, So he puts it on Austin, and everyone's confused with why is Dude Love out there? Who's he helping? Whose side is he on? Is there a conspiracy? And that's what we'll get into this week, and also lead to their main event match at Unforgiven 98.
And just to chime in, real quick on that, if you'd been paying attention to just kind of the development of Mick Foley's characters, when he has that quote unquote shoot interview in the middle of the ring, as Mick Foley, as well, I think he's Cactus Jack. Then after he loses the belts with Chainsaw Charlie, he kind of makes a point on how you can kind of sense the jealousy of Stone Cold right there.
Right. So, yeah, and he said Cactus Jack is going to be going away for a while.
Yeah, so there's some foreshadowing there,
right?
In a sense.
Yeah, and we played that. Oh, we talked about that last week. Yep. All right, so we'll be covering the Raw Go Home show leading up to Unforgiven. We'll cover Unforgiven today, and then we'll also cover the night after, the Raw from the night after. All right, so that's what we got in tap or in store for today. So let's get into it. Raw 256 from April 20th, 1998, and this is happening in Long Island, New York, which is the home of the Dude Man, of Dude Love.
On 420.
Yes, on 420, no less. Which meant nothing to me in 1998.
Say here, meant nothing.
All right, so it's going to start off with Dude Love. Dude Love is going to come out, and it's going to be the premiere of a new segment, The Love Shack. And then they have this, like, surfer-type music for the entrance. I mean, they're singing, they're using the words Love Shack. Obviously not the B-52's Love Shack. But they have this Love Shack song that sounds like a surfing song. It's like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, the song sucks. It's so cheesy.
Come around to the Love Shack. It sucks.
And they're totally picking up on the mainstream movie hype of Austin Powers at the time.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
So this whole like shagadelic shit was huge during this time in the 90s. I think it was like 96 or 97. The first Austin Powers International Man of Mystery movie came out, and then Dude Love comes out, and he's kind of
just a ripoff of.
Yeah, he's kind of taking a lot of the Austin Powers gimmick stuff here with this stage, the set stage, obviously with the wall chairs, lava lamp, and all that is, ties right into that.
All right, you get the Love Shack bus is the entrance. So yeah, so hey. Good segment, though. Some things will go down.
People hung out in buses.
Yeah, and hippies.
Yeah.
Smoking
Take
weed.
Take this bus to the store.
Banging each other.
Nowadays, no one wants to go on a bus.
No.
Like, shit, I got to ride the bus. This sucks.
All right, so just to set the stage for you got Dude Love comes out. They're going to announce that Dude Love will challenge Steve Austin at Unforgiven based on what happened last week. Austin was pissed about not knowing who his opponent was going to be. Vince McMahon didn't give him that information, but apparently it's released now at this point. It's Dude Love versus Steve Austin at Unforgiven. And Vince McMahon's going to make an appearance on the Love Shack. And we're going to play the clip for you, so take a listen to Dude Love's The Love Shack. And then we'll talk about the details of what you just heard after you hear it. Take a listen.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, when those brothers meet in the cemetery, it's going to be on Raw, no doubt about that. What is this? Well, that's Dude Love, and we found out late last week that surprisingly, Dude is now the #1 contender for Stone Cold's WWF title, and Dude will challenge Stone Cold this Sunday at Unforgiven on pay-per-view.
Have mercy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Love Shack, the hip new chat fest that has Oprah open mouth and Letterman looking out for the better man.
Uh-oh. Vince needs a tie-dye to get with the program.
My McMahon man, what are you doing here?
Fine. With one arm tied behind his back, I had an opportunity to humiliate and embarrass Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you prevented that. You interfered. And for that, I'm fining you a sum of $5,000.
Good. Wow. That's a bunch of cash.
Don't ever interfere in my business again.
The boss laying down the law.
Who knows what would have happened if dude hadn't have interfered. So the number one contender's $5,000 lighter for his efforts last week.
He deserves to be fined.
Well, Cousin Vinny is an emotional man, and we have been through emotional week. Because the WWF is buzzing, and I've got to be honest with you, my cats and kitties, the letters have been pouring in, asking the same questions. Why, dude, why?
Yeah, why?
Well, I want you all to understand that when the dude made his way down to the ring last week on Raw is War, I was merely trying to create a little bit of peace, love, and understanding. And when I stepped up to the big Vince McDaddy, well, I was the victim of a sucker attack from behind. And now it's the dude who's been asking some serious questions. Like, why would my former tag team partner, my soulmate, commit such a heinous act? Why would a man that I carried for so many months commit this vicious crime? Well, the answer, my cats and kitties, is very simple. The root of all evil, children, the chicks. Make no bones about it, when me and Steve-O wore the gold, we were followed by an entire caravan of pussy cats. But while the dude was a chick magnet, attacking the attention of blondes, brunettes, and redheads, big and busty, loud and lusty, well, Stone Cold Steve Austin was receiving the desires of a bunch of housewives in house coats, women finding comfort in their Richard Simmons tapes, most of them sporting hair on their upper lip, and I guess you Long Island ladies know what I'm talking about.
And true to the 60s, he's hallucinating.
Oh, now Steve-O, the dude has got a little showdown with the Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman. But Steve-O, we do not have to wait until this Sunday at Unforgiven, because you can be forgiven tonight. You see, Steve-O, I'm willing to forget about this whole number one contender match, as long as you, by the end of this evening, come out here and grovel on your knees, baby.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
Austin's not here right now. I understand he was sent by Vince McMahon's
The
office to
dude
a
is
bar
willing
mitzvah.
to let
What?
bygones be forgotten. Oh, but if you don't, then Unforgiven will be a long night. And you know something, Steve-O? I always knew that I could take you. I just never knew it would be that easy. Ow! Have mercy.
I'll tell you what, JR, there's going to be hell to pay in Unforgiven this Sunday.
Nothing's going to be easy about this Sunday on pay-per-view in Greensboro when that man, the surprising number one contender to the WWF title, goes nose to nose with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's going to be a war. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, rumor has it that Austin plans to get his hands on Vince tonight.
Okay, so you have Vince McMahon. He comes out right away, and he's pretty pissed off. He's a little annoyed with the dude man, and he believes that he could have beat Austin. Austin had one hand tied behind his back. He should have been able to humiliate Steve Austin, but Dude Love prevented that. Dude Love interfered. Vince McMahon's pissed off. So he's going to fine Dude Love. And I don't know about you, JV, but when he said the amount of the fine, I was like, big fucking deal.
Yeah, me too. I was like, $5,000. What the hell?
Yeah, I was thinking like he was going to say like 20 grand maybe. $5,000. It's like,
I was thinking 25,
Yeah. So Dude Love's going to get fined $5,000. And
Vince is so cheap, he only gave away $5,000 of fake money.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, enough cheap.
No, he's taking it away from him. But,
yeah, he's taking it away from but could have been more of a hard ass. Like $50,000, like in the 90s, I would have been like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh well,
something big. It's like, oh okay, it's like a parking ticket.
$5,000.
The equivalent of a parking ticket in a big business.
What did you litter?
So McMahon gives him a little stern warning not to ever interfere in his business again, and then he goes walking back out, to the back again. And Dude Love now starts to take over. He talks to the crowd, as you heard, and he's talking about letters pouring in, asking him, why, dude, why? And that he just came out to try to create some peace, love, and understanding, and he was a victim of a sucker attack. So he's saying that Austin was sneaking up on him, and he can't believe that Austin would do something like this. Why would my former tag team partner, my soulmate, commit such a heinous act? And then it gets even better. He's like, why would a man I carried for so many months commit this vicious crime? So building some good heat there, because everyone knows he didn't carry him. It was, you guys worked together as a good team, and it wasn't even for months either. It was a month. It was just July. And you can go back in our past episodes and take a listen to our Dude Love episode, which was called Have Mercy, to learn more about that, about their past.
Yep.
So Dude Love, he's also going to start to bring up the fact that, back when they were tag team champs, they were getting all the chicks. Dude Love puts himself over saying, I was getting hot chicks, the big and busty, loud and musty. What the fuck's musty? Big and busty, loud and musty.
Musty I always associated with like shitty, like a musty basement.
Right.
So maybe hanging out with like crackheads. So, you don't discriminate.
But then from there he goes on to say, Steve Austin was getting all the house moms in their house coats, and they had hair on their upper lips. And then he points out to the Long Island crowd. He says, hey, you Long Island girls know what I'm talking about. At the same exact time that he's saying that, there's like a typical like Long Island Italian girl yelling on the camera when he's doing that. Not even knowing what he's saying, making fun of them.
Oh, yeah.
So there was one part that confused me a little bit. Maybe you can clear it up, or you were just as confused as me. Well, he's talking about a match that he has with Steve Blackman later tonight. And he's saying, I'm willing to forgive the number one contenders match if you come out and grovel on your knees. What number one contenders match? Is what I'm wondering. It's like, what is he talking about? I'm willing to forgive this number one contenders match? Is Steve Blackman versus Dude Love supposed to be a number one contenders match? They already announced that it's Austin versus Dude Love at Unforgiven.
This actually, I notice, happens a lot in WWE, even currently, where they just kind of like bring up something that's going to happen that hasn't been announced. And
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like JR should have just held off on saying that so that you could build up this match to be a little bit more special as a number one contenders match. So they probably, they realized that right after this segment, and then they had to stop kind of building it as a number one contenders match. So Dude Love is going out there with the idea in his head that, this match is a number one contenders match, and he can't hear what JR is saying, and there's just a lack of communication there. So it was confusing to listen to. Anyway.
Yeah, we've had this happen in a previous episode with something similar too.
Yeah, it has definitely happened before. So that promo wraps up, that Love Shack wraps up with with Dude Love saying, "I always knew I could take you. I just never thought it would be that easy." Ow! Have mercy. That sounded like something that I've heard before in a movie. Like, I always knew I could take you. I just never thought it would be that easy. It sounds like a movie line. I can't think of where it's from, though.
Probably like 3 Ninjas or something.
3 Ninjas. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.
I don't know why that came to mind. But.
Oh, man. What was their names? Colt, Rocky, and
Colt,
Tum Tum?
Tum Tum.
Tum Tum.
Like this little kid who wasn't even fat.
Right.
And they like tried to like pitch him off. He's like this little fat overweight. If that's a fat overweight kid in the 90s, wait till they see the fat overweight little fucks we have now.
Yeah. I want a modern day 3 Ninjas with a real fat kid as Tum Tum.
Yeah. I want a real chunk, a real Tum Tum.
Fucking 3 Ninjas. All right, so just a little later on in the night, Austin's going to come out. He's a little pissed off, as always, and he has something to say about Dude Love and Vince McMahon. So take a listen to that, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, here he comes, the WWF champion, the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's looking to get a piece of Vince McMahon. He's looking to defend his WWF title this Sunday at Unforgiven against the #1 contender, Dude Love. I knew when I get out here, JR, something good would happen. Man, look at his eyes. He's in a bad mood.
The damn music. Last week I came out here and asked Vince McMahon who my opponent for the next pay-per-view was going to be, and he said he hadn't made his mind up yet. He was still deliberating. He didn't want to make any snap decisions. Well, he was lying, and I know that. That don't really bother me because he's lied to me plenty of times in the past. Then I come out here, I put the WWF title on the line. It was supposed to be Austin versus McMahon, and then Dude Love, the psychedelic jackass, comes out here. We're scrambling around in the corner, and before you know it, he's got his fingers in my mouth, ruined the whole damn championship match, and I sit there and I think, well, I'm not a rocket scientist, but if you ask Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's been a conspiracy between Vince McMahon and Dude Love all along.
Conspiracy? Oh, that's slander.
Hell, if you think it was a conspiracy, give me a hell yeah. That's exactly what I thought. But the thing about it is, with one arm tied behind my back, Dude Love, you can beat my ass any day of the week, but you can always bet your last little dollar that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to pick his ass up and beat your sorry ass. It don't matter when. It might not. You're damn right. It might not be the same day, but you can always bet that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to get his payback. So, with that being said, Unforgiven in your house, that's just a little too long for Stone Cold. Last week, I said I would wrestle Vince McMahon. That didn't happen. I promise you, tonight before this show is over, I will get my hands on Vince McMahon.
Well, the rumors are confirmed.
And I will get my hands on Dude Love. And that's all I got to say, because Stone Cold's got some ass to kick tonight, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold Steve Austin confirming what we had heard. Uh-oh. He's on the loose. Look out. Look out. Yeah, get him. Austin is a dangerous man. Oh, look out, feet. Do something, JR. Vince McMahon, this is your life. This is your night. As far as Stone Cold Steve Austin is concerned, Austin has always kept his promises. Here he comes. And folks, it's going to happen
Okay, so as I said before the clip, Stone Cold's pissed like usual, and he's pissed at McMahon. He's pissed at Dude Love. He calls Dude Love a psychedelic jackass. Thought that was a little good line. Psychedelic jackass. So Austin believes that there's a conspiracy. McMahon and Dude Love are in it together. They're out to screw him. And he's going to get his payback. And he's not going to wait until Unforgiven. So that's a little too long. So before the night's over, he's going to get his hands on Vince McMahon and get his hands on Dude Love. Okay, so they're setting it up there that he's going to get his hands on both of them before the night is through. And you got to keep watching to see that. So that's all he has to say about that. He's got some ass kicking to do. So after he gets out of the ring, I don't know if you kept watching it there, but Austin is like chasing people around ringside. He's just like picking on everybody.
Yeah, yep, I did see that. I saw it in your notes. I'm like, I'll stick around and watch this.
Yeah. So he goes around, he's picking on everybody. He goes up to the ramp. The cameraman on the ramp, he's almost like pushing him off the edge. Like he's so close to the edge of the stage. The cameraman was probably shitting his pants. So from there is an interview a little later in the night that we're not going to play for you because it's very quick. It was Vince McMahon. He's getting interviewed. He gets interviewed about the conspiracy. Is there a conspiracy going on? And he says, "Well, Austin, he's watched a little bit too many Oliver Stone movies." And I'm not going to dignify that with a response. He says, "I was ready for him last week, and I'll be ready for him this week." So McMahon is not afraid of Stone Cold. That brings us now to the end there of this episode of Raw in the match. The match that was possibly going to be a number one contenders match, but ultimately is not a number one contenders match, and it's just a match with Dude Love versus Steve Blackman. And it would make sense that this was not a number one contenders match because who the fuck would ever think Steve Blackman was going to get a title shot with Steve Austin?
Well, at the time, was he still undefeated at this time?
I think he had one loss.
Did he? All right. Yeah. I forget if they mentioned it or not, and I forgot to make a note of it. But I remember after I was like, I'm like, was he still undefeated at this point? Because then that could kind of bring some legitimacy, I guess. Well, I mean, Steve Blackman is on a hot streak right now.
Yeah, he is. He has one loss to somebody. I forget who the hell it was, but there's one loss, and they mention it again because he goes up against the person. He's like, "Oh, he only has one loss, and it's to this person." I don't remember who the hell it was.
Vega.
Might be in the side notes somewhere, but not that important. So you got Dude Love versus Steve Blackman. This match is kicking off at the 1 hour, 21 minute mark. So that means there's only about 10 minutes left in the show. So it starts off with Vince McMahon. He's coming out to do commentary for the match. This is actually like the first time that Vince McMahon has been on commentary since before Survivor Series. Back in November, before the screw job. So it's been a while. And when he sits down, he's like, "Oh, it's like being back at home." And he gets right back into his Vince McMahon voice for commentary. So Vince starts to say, "Yeah, what a maneuver! Look at that." So Vince is saying that Dude and Steve have a conspiracy against him. He's not involved in conspiracy. That's Dude Love and Steve trying to stop Vince McMahon. He's saying that Dude cost him the championship. And Vince is going to promise something that's catastrophic to happen at Unforgiven. Or your money back. Another money back guarantee. And, since we've watched it ahead already for our preparation for this episode, I don't think anything catastrophic happens at Unforgiven. So, where's the money back?
Yeah, at least not in their match.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there was anything huge. I mean, we'll get to it in just a little bit.
I mean, Kane gets on fire. That's about it.
Yeah. Guess that's catastrophic. The way he's selling it, it's like during that match, during Austin versus Dude Love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he announces that Vince he's gonna be sitting at ringside for the WWF Championship match, and he mentions that numerous times that he's gonna be there at ringside. And JR even alludes to the point that, "Oh, you're going to be at ringside, and Earl Hebner could possibly be back as referee, and this is for the WWF Championship." So he's alluding to the screw job.
Yep.
that I just mentioned, with Vince being back in commentary for this match. So they start to hint to that a little bit. And then, it just so happens that this match is going to end up in a screw job. Dude Love has Steve Blackman in an abdominal stretch. Just, basic move. No one submits to an abdominal stretch. But immediately when he gets the hold on, the bell rings. Dude Love's music hits. He's announced the winner. Blackman never submitted. Tim White didn't even make the call. Tim White looks confused in the ring.
Yeah, he looks so lost.
So the timekeeper is in his spot. He looks like he's going to shit his pants. This is Mark Yeaton. The name's Mark Yeaton, but when watching it, it sounded like they're saying Eaton every time. Mark Eaton. Mark Eaton. But it's Mark Yeaton.
Yeah, it does sound like Eaton, right? You're saying like Eaton?
Right. Like Bobby Eaton.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's with a Y. Yeaton. So Steve Blackman's going to go up to the timekeeper and he's going to beat him up. So you get a screw job here. So now they're alluding to the fact that at Unforgiven, you might possibly have a screw job situation. Which is funny because they just had it. I mean, I guess since it's fresh in people's mind to try to take advantage of doing that again, it just seems so soon to be doing it. But I guess the sooner the better in that situation. You don't want to wait 2 years to do it again. Might as well do it when it's hot already. It also makes Vince McMahon look like a dickhead by trying to do it again to Austin. It would make sense to do it with Austin, too. Just a relationship.
It would because, this is a much more toxic relationship than he had with Brett.
Right. So, even though you did have those instances with Brett where Brett threw him down to the ground, he attacked him on commentary, put his shirt over his head. Actually, Vince got Brett's shirt over his head.
Yep.
So they did have a little conflict building up to that, which is why I had always said that it's a work. All right, so Austin's going to run out after Blackman beats up Mark Yeaton. He's going to run in at the 1 hour, 28-minute mark. Austin attacks Dude Love with a clothesline. He heads right for Vince immediately, goes outside the ring. He slams him down. He starts kicking him. Then Dude Love comes out, makes the save, and they start brawling on the outside again. McMahon gets into the ring. He looks like he's ready to fight. He's walking around. He throws his blazer off. And then you get the Stooges, Patterson and Briscoe, enter the ring, just as Austin does, and they get separated. So McMahon and Austin are separated again. Briscoe's going to get stunned, then Patterson gets stunned. McMahon runs out of the ring. Dude Love attacks Austin from behind as McMahon is yelling at Austin from the ring apron. And McMahon just starts to walk back up the ramp while Austin and Dude are going at it in the ring. And Austin's going to eventually break out of that, and he's going to start to chase McMahon up the ramp, but the show ends. So we don't know what happens there, but good closing segment for the go-home show leading to their match at Unforgiven, Dude Love versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, so that concludes the Austin segments from that episode of Raw, from Raw 256 on April 20th, 1998. So we do have some side notes. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got some DX, and we got another goddamn triple dog dare from DX. Triple H is dared by Billy Gunn. Just pull it out. Pull it out on national TV. It is dick. So I thought this was actually funny what Triple H did. Triple H says, I'll drop it right here on the table, and then he slams his arm down onto the table.
Yeah.
Like I'll just whip it out.
That's something people still use today.
Right.
I've seen that.
I'll just whip it out. So I did like that. I did appreciate that one.
Me too.
And then he also says he's going to give them a golden shower. He's going to give the audience a golden shower. So JR's line leading into the break is perfect. He's like, Helmsley is going to expose himself and urinate on the crowd? They're like, what the hell's going on here? So they get out to the ring. Triple H has this trench coat on, and he tries to create a chant for Sonny because Sonny's the new manager of LOD, and New Age Outlaws have a thing with LOD going on, and he's telling the crowd to say skanky instead of Sunny. So he's trying to get a skanky chant going on.
Yep.
And then this is one thing with Triple H that kind of annoys me. It's his little one-liners that he tries to do. It's brick thick and made for a chick. Oh,
Yeah.
like he's trying to be Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly who he's trying to his character. Wow, I never realized that till you said that today.
Yep, that's what he's trying to do with the jokes.
Yeah.
Michaels was doing it too a little bit when he was there, doing the rhyming jokes and shit.
Was. But not as over the top as Triple H. Triple H. Well, I don't know. HBK was definitely over the top too, but Triple H's delivery is just wonky. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it's
almost like he's not totally comfortable yet.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Like they're just pushing him too hard right now. It's not natural.
He comes across as having to try hard, and HBK didn't.
Right, exactly. And that's why they have him doing all these different pranks and shit. Just try to get attention. It's funny, there was a sign, I don't know if it was this episode or an episode coming up, but there's a sign that says DX needs HBK. Because some of the fans weren't buying this version of DX.
Yeah, some people still weren't like. I mean, I just think he's doing a fine job, and obviously recruiting the other guys are helping him here.
Yeah,
but yeah, some people loved HBK.
I know shit. Yeah, it's an adjustment period to get used to.
Yep.
So Triple H is going to expose his Super Soaker, which is a Super Soaker water gun. Then he shoots it off into the crowd, and that thing got some distance too.
Yeah, it did.
Good selling point there for the Super Soaker. And they even start to squirt some of the football players from the New York Jets that are at the game. I couldn't recognize any of them. From '98, from the '98 team.
They were from the '90s.
Yeah,
Vinny Testaverde. I don't know.
A few weeks later, they'll be in Baltimore, and it's easy to recognize Tony Saragusa.
Yeah, that's it.
He was in the crowd in a few weeks. All right, so that's the DX. You have a little bit of Kane and Undertaker still building up because they get their Inferno match coming up. And there's a hearse that arrives during the episode, and it's a mystery who's in the hearse and all this shit. There's a couple caskets that gets brought out, and these get put on the stage, and they're supposed to be Undertaker's father and Undertaker's mother's casket. So Kane's going to burn one of them, the father's. Then Undertaker's going to come running out. He's wearing street clothes. He gets chokeslammed through the mother's casket. I thought it was pretty cool. Freaking damn creepy, too, because then they show, like, fragments of bones underneath Undertaker in the casket. And then you got worms and shit in there.
Yeah, I thought this was great television.
Yeah. Awesome build to go to the pay-per-view for the Inferno match, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, good shit. Also, yeah, Kevin Kelly gets beat up by the Undertaker a little bit at the cemetery. So, hard-hitting Kevin Kelly had to be at the cemetery on scene, on location, and Undertaker choked him out a little bit. And that brings us now to another Val Venus vignette. Val Venus is coming. I don't know when, though. He's got blue balls, I guess.
But a bump.
So Val Venus said this is the shower one. It's the same two chicks from last week that I said I wanted to see their tit pop out. So they're back in action. Now they're wearing
better than ever.
Yep, shower robes and it looks good. Yeah, looks very good. So Val Venus, his one-liner this time is when Val Venus comes, there will be no stopping him. And just watch, looking at Val Venus, I was thinking at this point, it came to my head, it's like, that is what Rob Gronkowski should be as a wrestler. That's what he would be. Like, if he was around in 98 as who he is, that's perfect role. He looks like he even looks like Val Venus without, facial hair and long hair.
And when he retires from wrestling and he wants to make, from NFL and he wants to make that transition over, there you go.
Yep. Val Venus. And we also had a friend, Mike Gonzalez. He looks like Val Venus too.
Yeah, he does. It's like Triple H and Val Venus
Yeah.
combined.
Yep. All right, so that's it for side notes. Did you have any other side note they wanted to bring up?
No, we covered them.
All right, so let's move on now to the pay-per-view, to Unforgiven, from April 26, 1998. This is happening in Greensboro, North Carolina. They're going to set an attendance record for Greensboro, where there had been many, many wrestling matches over the years, from NWA mostly, and this hot version of WWF is going to come there and shatter those records with over 21,000 people in attendance for this pay-per-view. Unforgiven, and In Your House. So this is the 21st edition of In Your House. This is, at this point, you recognize that they're having sub-names for the In Your Houses, and you're kind of not really calling them In Your House anymore. They're just going with Unforgiven, In Your House. Like, as a side note, it's In Your House. But that's starting to fade away at this point. And I think by the beginning of 99, they don't call them In Your Houses anymore. But this Unforgiven is going to be one of the titles that they actually go on to use again and again. They're going to use Unforgiven for 11 consecutive years after this point. So from 98 all the way to 2008, they'll have an Unforgiven. So it starts off here in April, but going forward into 99, that pay-per-view will be in September going forward. And that means that the In Your House another In Your House that goes on to be used over and over again is No Way Out, which happened in February. That will be the first to be twice of these new ones. So it's kind of like the sixth major pay-per-view. All right, the sixth title to have its own name would be No Way Out. Then Over the Edge would only have two. Okay, we're covering Over the Edge next week. But then in 99, it's the last Over the Edge for reasons that you could probably gather, having to do with Owen Hart. So they never even had another pay-per-view called Over the Edge after that. I think that's a good call. But now let's get to this Unforgiven. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background there on the Unforgiven pay-per-view. So here we are. Austin's going to cut a rare promo for a pay-per-view. So he's going to come out. He's a little pissed off at what he's seen on Raw with Mark Yeaton and this potential screw job that he thinks might happen. So he has some words for Mark Yeaton. So take a listen to this quick promo, and we'll talk about what he had to say to Mr. Timekeeper.
WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I don't know about you, King, this is not on my lineup. He's got no business out here. Well, I don't know about that, but he certainly was not expected.
Get your ass up.
Uh-oh.
Up and get in the damn ring.
Oh, that's a timekeeper.
That's right, get in the ring, I'll beat your ass.
Mark Yeaton is our timekeeper. Vince, are you watching this?
Get over here. Last week, I said get your ass over here. Last week.
Guarantee you McMahon's hot right now.
Last week, Vince McMahon told you to ring that bell, didn't he? I said last week, Vince McMahon told you to ring that bell, didn't he?
I rang the bell when I had to ring the bell.
Put a little bass in your voice because you're starting to piss me off. If you don't know, bad things happen when people piss me off. I'm gonna tell you just like it is. If Vince McMahon screws me for this title tonight, after I get through beating his ass up and down every single one of these aisles.
That's a threat.
Then I'm gonna drag your little yellow carcass up and down each one of the same aisles I drug Vince on. So the only thing that can happen tonight, if you decide to call this thing down the middle and don't ring that bell, Vince McMahon just might fire you. But if he don't fire you and you screw Steve Austin, you can always find another job, but it's going to be damn hard to find another life because I'll beat your ass so bad you'll never work here again.
And that's a promise, no threat.
You got a tough decision to make, so take your little scruffy ass over there and sit in your chair and you think about it. And you just remember, I don't mind one bit. If Dude Love can beat my ass and take that belt, I really don't care because he was good enough to beat me. But if you screw me, if Vince McMahon screws me, you're both gonna get your ass whipped, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Okay, so there you have it. Austin comes out and he goes right to the ring, right down to the timekeeper, tells the timekeeper to get in the ring, and that man is Mark Eaton, who we just talked about screwing Steve Blackman. Vince McMahon down at ringside told him to ring that bell. So he's going to be questioned by Austin about that. I just want to point out one thing about Mark Eaton that I didn't point out earlier, is that Mark Eaton is going to be the man that's going to be the guy that, to be the man that throws out the bears to Austin soon. So after the end of all the Raws and all that, when Austin would get the bears, that'd be Mark Eaton and tossing those bears week after week. Can't wait to get to that point.
Same here.
That's some fun shit.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the ring gets a mess from all that beer
Right.
abuse.
Yeah. Just like 20 beers, 30 beers.
Yeah, it's so excessive.
And he probably drank like, all in all, maybe like 5 beers. If probably less. Just like pouring it on himself.
Like he wore more than he drank.
But I did read that because of like just having a match and the adrenaline of everything, that he would get hammered quick on just like the remains that he ended up getting in his mouth. He'd be buzzed.
I believe it. I never really thought of that, but it makes sense.
Yeah. He's not like eating anything right before he's going to wrestle, so.
Yeah, he's burning all his calories that he has.
Right.
He's exerting all of his energy.
Yeah, imagine that, going for a run and then just drinking a beer right after. I guess people do that, like for.
Yeah, I would say there are definitely people that do that. I've probably done it once or twice.
But it hits you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
Hits you
it
quick.
hits you like a Mack truck. Like, how many did I have again?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I made it.
You're like, is this beer sweats or
I did the
juice
5K.
sweat? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You do a 5K and you get hammered.
Yep. All right, so Austin's going to talk to Mark Eaton. He says, last week Vince told you to ring that bell, didn't he? And Mark Eaton responds, I rang the bell when I had to ring the bell. No, it's a great line. Put a little bass in your voice because you're starting to piss me off. It's kind of like what King Kong Bundy had to say to Marty about.
Yeah, right.
Hey, speak up, you're pissing me off. So Austin's like, if Vince McMahon screws me tonight, I'll beat his ass up. I'll beat his ass up and down every aisle. I'm going to do the same to your yellow carcass. Yellow. I always like the use of the term yellow or yella. Yellow bastard.
Is that from Home Alone? Get ya ugly, yella.
No good
No
keister.
good keister off my property. Pump your guts full of lead.
Oh, rubbish. What was it? What was the movie called,
Watching
though?
rubbish. Hell's Angels or something. Not Hell's Angels, but like
Right, angels
some
and
biblical
golden,
stuff.
Yeah, some angel
Yeah.
shit. A snake.
Snake. Too bad Gacy ain't in charge no more.
Oh, man. Good line. Ah. All right. I want to watch that now. Gotta wait until Christmas. All right, so back to Austin. He's just putting Mark Eaton on notice. You better not fucking ring that bell because I'll kick your ass so bad that you won't be able to work here. You won't be working anymore. So here's your choices. You don't do it, you get fired. If you do it, I'm going to kick your ass so bad you're not going to work anyway. So,
Choices.
yeah, the hard way, the easy way. Again. So, Austin points out, if Dude Love can beat me for the belt, then I really don't care because he would have deserved to beat me. But if you screw me, Vince McMahon screws me, you're both getting your ass kicked, and that's the bottom line. So, good little promo there. Just to continue from what happened on Raw and then build up to this match even more so. To have it in your head like, something's going to go down tonight. So, good writing there. Good to have that.
Yeah.
They generally don't have promos on the pay-per-views, but that was a good spot for it. And even Vince McMahon's going to get involved with building up the match a little bit more. He's going to have a promo at 1 hour, 7 minutes, 57 seconds.
I just want to make a note on the Austin promo.
Yeah.
It really ties into like the very crisp storytelling that WWF had at the time. Having Stone Cold address the timekeeper after, what happened the week prior and, just addressing the fact that it happened is
right.
It's the little things like that really just help a feud and help a story.
Yeah, it connects it together.
It helps tie everything together. So
because if we're thinking it, then the guy involved in the match has got to be thinking about it, so he should say something.
Yeah, and the scruffy ass timekeeper, that suit is like 12 sizes too big. I know baggy was the style in the 90s, but no, that guy he's wearing like one of Vince McMahon's suits or something.
Yeah, it is pretty damn big. Maybe they just
he
wanted
looks
to
like
make
Beetlejuice. You know when Beetlejuice is on the side of the guys in the movie and they have the suit on? He's in like the death den. They have like where he's in that room with all the weird people, and it's just someone like a baggy suit. And
the waiting room,
yeah,
scene?
Yeah. And then like the laundry thing comes and picks up the guy in the suit and brings him through like the laundry cleaner or whatever. I don't know. It reminds me of Beetlejuice, though, which is ridiculous.
Big ass suit.
No one in a suit should remind you of Beetlejuice.
It's almost like they just wanted him to look pathetic, like a poor thing. So, let's put him in this suit that doesn't fit. He looks like a schmuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. It worked.
Yeah.
Makes him look even more vulnerable. Look at a sad sack of shit.
Who's afraid he's just going to do what he's got to do for his boss, and he's afraid of Austin kicking his ass.
But I wore my suit.
He's in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, really.
So let's go to the Vince McMahon promo. It's pretty quick, about 2 to 3 minutes. Take a listen, and we'll go over it briefly after that.
They're Hall of Famers. Oh, yeah. You don't think
Something catastrophic is going to occur here tonight.
You mean we haven't seen it yet? Apparently not.
Now that can mean anything. After all, this is the World Wrestling Federation and anything can happen. There's some sort of speculation, some sort of conspiracy theory going around that the reason I am here is to screw Stone Cold Steve Austin out of the WWF Championship here tonight.
It's not true, guarantee it.
Well, let me tell you the real reason I'm here. The real reason I'm here is that not that many years ago, at Moore County Hospital in Pinehurst, North Carolina, my mother had the pleasure of giving birth to me. That's right, I'm a native North Carolinian.
That's truth. As far as the native North Carolinian.
And it's kind of nice to be back home.
These people should be proud. Well, he ain't exactly Dean Smith.
But as far as this
Who?
conspiracy theory is concerned, am I going to screw Stone Cold out of the WWF title? The very thought that something like that would occur is beneath my dignity. And quite frankly,
oh, come on. Show some respect for the most famous man that ever come out of North Carolina.
And quite frankly, I will not dignify that with a response. However, let me say this about that. I will not be held responsible for what happens in this very ring here tonight. In no way will I accept any responsibility at all if Stone Cold screws Stone Cold.
Yeah, what about that, JR? Time-honored tradition or something, I reckon. Oh, yeah, Briscoe said, let me take the microphone. Boy, he's changed.
What do you mean? You
So-
want to be apologizing to Jerry Briscoe next?
I'm kind of disappointed in Jerry Briscoe, as a matter of fact. Been more speculation on what's going to happen here as far as this catastrophe is concerned than the final episode of Seinfeld, for goodness sakes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you something. As Vince McMahon leaves, there you see Sable.
Okay, so you had Vince McMahon come out. He talks about something big's going to happen, something catastrophic's going to happen, and we'll see about that. Vince McMahon brings up the conspiracy about him being there to screw Austin, that he's not there to screw Austin. He tells the crowd he was born not too far from Greensboro, so he's trying to relate to the crowd. You know, I'm a North Carolinian, but everything about him is like bullshit. You're not North Carolinian. Yeah, you may have been born here, but you're not fucking from North Carolina anymore. You're a New Yorker. So he says screwing Austin would be beneath his dignity, and he will not be held responsible if Stone Cold screws Stone Cold. So again, we're bringing back the screw job, even using the same language. Brett screwed Brett. Stone Cold screwed Stone Cold. So another way to just push the audience into thinking, he's going to fuck Stone Cold tonight. He's going to fuck him over.
Yep.
So now we get to the match, and we got a little pre-match video package that kind of sums everything up nice and quick. Nice little 2-minute segment there. They do a great job with their video packages. And I know we just recapped everything in the past couple episodes, but there's a nice little quick blurb to just kind of refresh it before we get into the match. All right, so take a listen to this pre-match package.
If Austin becomes WWF champion as we know him now, that would be a public relations corporate nightmare. No longer will Stone Cold Steve Austin be considered a beer-swilling, hand-gesturing, trash-talking, blue-collar WWF champion. What? Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for this extraordinary attire, the new and improved Stone Cold Steve Austin and the new look.
Yes! The corporate makeover's not getting a big ovation here, is it?
The new Stone Cold wants you to take this camera and get the film developed, because this is the absolute last time you will ever see Stone Cold Steve Austin wearing a ridiculous suit like this son of a bitch.
I knew it! Travis Goods don't make corporate pets!
Stone Cold Steve Austin don't change for nobody, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold sits on.
Tensions between WWF owner Vince McMahon and quote-unquote his champion Steve Austin consequently culminated in the unthinkable.
If you want to see Austin and McMahon, give me a hell yeah!
Here we go, baby! Here we go! Oh my God! Oh my God!
You said you could beat Vince McMahon with one arm tied behind your back. There's only one cat who can bring peace to the war zone, and that's Dude Love.
Oh, he just shoved Dude Love down! What? Get him out of there! Dude Love's trying to put the mandible claw! Let's go get him there, McMahon! What the hell? Oh no! He got the claw! Dude Love has assaulted the WWF champion! And why? Why?
only thing more confusing than the reason why Dude Love attacked Stone Cold was the sudden announcement that Dude was now the #1 contender for the title.
But if you ask Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's been a conspiracy between Vince McMahon and Dude Love all along.
I would suggest that Mr. Austin has been watching too many Oliver Stone movies.
Well, if you think it was a conspiracy, give me a hell yeah. That's exactly what I thought.
I tell you what, Vince, you're going to raise a lot of eyebrows. You're going to sit at ringside during the title match with Austin and Dude Love.
He's only done that one other time, and that was at Survivor Series when someone else got screwed out of the title.
Here comes Stone Cold, and Stone Cold is going to get Vince McMahon. He's kicking the honor of the WWF champion. Is Vince McMahon going to screw Austin out of the title this Sunday?
I humbly apologize, and I'm sorry for the misunderstanding and for the problems that my remarks may have caused.
Is that what you wanted?
If you screw Steve Austin, Vince, you're going to get your ass whipped in front of the world, and that's all I got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so nice little recap. It covers a lot of what we did on last week's episode 23, McMahon. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and check out episode 23, McMahon, where you can get all the little details in our commentary on what happened with Austin and McMahon. So in that video package, there were a couple things that I didn't see that weren't on Raw. There were clips of Austin being interviewed. There was, Austin was wearing a polo being interviewed.
Yeah, don't remember that.
You had JR apologizing. These things that, we didn't see on Raw. So I suppose they would have been on Superstars or maybe the Saturday morning show that was on at the time. I don't even know what show it was at that point. Maybe it was Mania. I don't know. So it had to be on a weekend show that's not available on the network. But just a little bit more there. So good video package now, leading us into the match. We have Dude Love versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. This match is going to start off at 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 40 seconds on the network. Again, 2 hours, 12 minutes, 40 seconds. So yeah, Dude Love comes out, and he's got a new Dude Love attire on. He's got nice new baby blue tights. Got stars on him now. But he has his headband. Got the headband back. Did notice that he hadn't been wearing it for a few weeks. So he's got that headband back on.
I was trying to think, when he doesn't wear the headband, that means he's a heel.
Oh,
apparently that's not the case.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a good thing. A little change there. So now, I guess, different tights. Different tights. Those are your heel tights.
Yeah.
So one thing that I looked up right when this match started, I was like, I couldn't think of how old they were. I was like, they have to be so young. And they were. Dude Love is only 32 years old.
Wow.
And just to think, all the wrestling that he had already done, for the decade before. So, when he was 22 years old, he had started back in 1988, 87. He's only 32 here. So he had a whole career already at this point, and he was only 32. He's going to have another 10 years in him. Not exactly 10 years, but he still had more in his tank. Mm-hmm. Stone Cold, 33 years old. It's just weird because we're older than that now, both of us. It's shit, man. It's these guys were in the prime of their career, and here we are. I guess we're in the prime of our career too, but it's just not. It's not as exciting.
Yeah, not as exciting or as well compensated.
Right. And that just made me think my students must think I'm fucking old. if I was thinking as a 12-year-old thinking that Dude Love and Stone Cold were old, then that's what they think of me.
Guaranteed.
And I guess I am old in comparison to a 12-year-old.
Yep.
So this is going to be the first pay-per-view title defense, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that's a little memorable thing there. First time defending, and it's a pretty damn good match that we're going to start talking about here. The action is going to start at 2 hours and 16 minutes. Dude Love's going to attack Austin from behind while he's handing the title over to Mike Chioda, who's the referee. So not Earl Hebner, like they said could possibly be back in time for this match. So not Earl, but Mike Chioda. And he's handing the belt over, and Dude Love attacks him. Austin's going to get controlled back real quickly. He's going to close that dude out of the ring, follows him around. They get back in the ring, hits him with a Luthez press. And he starts to wail on him in the center of the ring, gives him the double birds, gives him that nice little elbow drop. And JR in commentary points out that Dude Love has his tips frosted. So this got me to thinking, oh, this is 98. And I remembered when I had my hair dyed in high school. And it was in 1998, late 98, early 99, somewhere around that time. I think it was maybe even the beginning of the school year. So I had brown hair, but then for the start of the 98 into 99 school year, I had bleach blonde hair. Do you remember that? You have to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same shit.
Yeah, that's right. You did too. Yeah, you actually did the frosted tips.
Yeah,
where I just had like the whole fucking thing. It was like yellow.
You went full on blonde. Yeah,
yeah.
And then it slowly turns like orange.
Then even my fucking eyebrows too.
I didn't do that.
Man. Goddamn craze. That's what was, we fell into it. Everybody was doing it. Goddamn NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were having an influence.
Yeah.
On hairstyling.
We just wanted to get the chicks, man. That's what the chicks like.
It's true. It's like if you didn't have that, you're lame, I guess. But
I'm like, oh shit, I guess I gotta look like Justin Timberlake now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was like Justin Timberlake though too, because it was all curly.
Yeah, my shit was all permed out naturally, of course. Naturally.
Oh man, no, I just had to point that out. Fucking getting hair dyed is dumbass 15.
Oh, that's hilarious.
15, 16-year-old. I have pictures because my niece was born in 1999, January 99. And then in the pictures, I'm holding her with this freaking blonde hair. It's like, oh, that sucks because now I'm gonna look back forever at the day she was born, where I had bleach blonde hair, and I fucking had a bunch of zits too at the time.
You have to explain it to everyone because they're gonna have, they're thinking the questions.
Like, yeah, why the hell is your hair blonde? What's up with that? It's like, that's how it was back then.
Yeah, it was the '90s. That's all you gotta say.
Yeah.
No, I was a '90s guy. 90s.
It's just the way it was. 90s. We got my structure clothes, and my American Eagle clothes on. Yeah, whatever. The 90s. All right, so you have Mark Eaton. He gets focused on, the camera focusing on him, and it's just alluding to, this could be the screw job. We got to watch Mark Eaton here. He's a factor in this match. So Austin and Dude, they start fighting outside the ring. Dude tries to leave twice. He tries to go up the ramp and he's like, screw this, I'm out of here. Why would he do that, though? He's trying to win the title. Why would he be the one that's walking away?
Yeah, I know. I didn't understand that either. Man, like, I regret this. I'm out. Like, what?
Right. Yeah, it's like, no, you want the title shot, dumbass.
Yeah.
So Austin gets to him. He tosses him back in the ring. He rolls out again. Dude rolls out, goes back up the aisle. Austin is like annoyed by it, and then he gives chase to him and clotheslines his ass down. And they start to fight on the Double J bandstand. Earlier in the night, Double J puts on a shitty concert. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash.
White trash. So bad.
But some girls do. All right. So, Dude takes a hell of a bump on the bandstand when Austin tosses him. And that was fucking awesome. Tosses him right off the bandstand onto the cement. JR has a great line there. A human body has just smacked the concrete. It just looks awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of brutal bumps in this one. There's a lot of back to concrete hits.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, it's definitely good shit in this match. So
like I personally love this match, but like it's hard hitting. And like every time Stone Cold hits the ground, it's watching it now. I cringe just knowing like the severity, really understanding the severity of the injury he had at SummerSlam. You know what? Less than a year earlier, you're talking SummerSlam '97. So
like
it's
8
just,
months.
It's like he's not doing as because sometimes Austin catches flack because his matches post injury, they're not as technical and stuff. But no, but they're brutal. They're probably worse. He's probably better off being a technical and doing some of those other moves than this.
Yeah.
Husky brawly shit he's doing.
Probably right. Granted, he's given a lot of the big bumps, but not taking as many. But he does take some.
In this match, he does. That's for sure.
So we go from there. Austin is kicking Dude Love back to the ring gradually, and Austin drops Dude on the railing, and that got me to thinking at this point, like, oh, there must not be any countouts in this match. So I don't know. That kind of bothers me. Just a little shit like that kind of pisses me off sometimes, because then they pick and choose what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, why is the referee chasing them all the way back to the bandstand?
Seriously.
Just stay in the ring, count them out, end the match. But obviously, they're not going to end the match like that for the main event. So send the referee up there with them. People won't think about the count out if the ref's up there. I don't know. Dumb. Just make it a no count out match. If you're going to do that bullshit. Anyway, let's move on. So Dude gets back to the ring, tosses him back in. Austin tries to leg drop Dude on the second rope, which looked pretty damn good. But Dude is going to move away. Austin ends up tangled in the ropes, and then he hits the mat. And JR points out, well scouted. Dude Love is no dummy. JR, it's a good little touch because JR does try to, tell the audience that he is intelligent. Yeah. As crazy as he might be and as goofy as he might be at times, Mick Foley is a smart man underneath all that craziness. So you got a nice solid bulldog. I love Dude Love or Mankind or Mick Foley, whoever's bulldog. It's always well executed. And then he gives an elbow drop, proceeded with the Dude Love warm-up, where I call it the Dude Groove warm-up in my notes, and he's like, that's when he starts to rotate his hands around each other. Like he's like spinning them to like punch or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's warming them up. So Dude loses control at this point in the match. So we're about halfway through the match at this point. It's 2 hours in, 23 minutes and 40 seconds. JR is starting to point out that other promotions have overlooked Austin and Dude's abilities, which, hell yeah. They turned 2 mid-carders from WCW into 2 of the top stars, future Hall of Famers in WWF. So, definitely overlooked. Dude's going to get Austin in a sleeper hold on the floor, in the middle of the ring, right in the middle of the ring. And at that point, that's when Vince McMahon comes out, which I was wondering. It's like, I thought Vince McMahon was going to be ringside for this. He hasn't come out. The match is halfway over. Well, I guess it makes sense that McMahon's not around the whole time, because then you'd just be thinking, what's going to happen, and not enjoy the match. So now they bring McMahon out at this point. And he's coming out with Briscoe Patterson, and they head down to the ring at 2 hours and 24 minutes on the WWE Network. And Patterson sets up a chair for McMahon. McMahon nods to the timekeeper, Mark Eaton, like, the shit's on. Be ready for it when I tell you. When I say ring that bell, ring that damn bell. So Austin's going to break a hold that he was in, the sleeper hold. He gives the bird to McMahon once he notices that McMahon's there. Dude's going to try to roll him up for near fall. And Austin gets worked on the knees. He works both of Dude's knees, rather, on the ring post. He's going back and forth between the 2 knees, slamming them on the ring post. And you got a lot of tension with Vince McMahon at ringside at this point. And I think that makes the match a hell of a lot more interesting. It's been solid regardless, but it's now nice to have that McMahon-Austin aspect, which is really the real feud. The feud is Austin and McMahon.
Yes.
Dude Love is more just like a proxy. He's in for McMahon. Right. So you got Dude and Austin. They're fighting back in the aisle again. It's like their favorite spot during this match, is to go back in the aisle. And McMahon is starting to get some pleasure out of it all. McMahon starts to provoke. He's provoking Austin. He's backing him up the ramp. And Austin's going to follow Dude. And he's going to get hit from behind. Okay, McMahon starts to walk back to ringside. And again, no count out in all this situation. The ref leaves the ring in both instances to try to get them back in the ring. And it's like, that's not your job to get them back in the ring. If they want to leave the ring, your job is to count them out, not bring them back into the ring. So Austin's going to try suplex the Dude out of the ring. Dude counters with dropping Austin on the top rope with a neck breaker, which was pretty damn crazy, knowing what we know about Austin's history.
Yep.
To do that spot. And McMahon continues to taunt Austin from outside the ring. He's telling Austin, get back in the ring. Be a man. Get back in the ring. Now the ref is, be a man. So now the ref is actually counting. It's like, what the fuck is this? When they're in Timbuktu, you don't count him out, but when he's right outside the ring, you're going to start doing a count out?
Timbuktu.
So anyway, you go back to this match here. You got Austin. He gets put in the abdominal stretch. That's Dude Love's new finisher, apparently. Dude is going to put Austin in the abdominal stretch. And just like with Steve Blackman, so we know what's coming here. And they cut to Vince McMahon on camera, and he's telling Eaton, ring the bell, ring the bell. But then Austin reverses the hold. McMahon's like, shit, no, don't ring the bell. Don't ring the bell. So nothing happens there. So Austin and Dude Love make their way outside the ring again. And Dude gets slammed pretty damn hard. Austin. Austin gets slammed into those steel steps pretty damn hard. So yeah, that's one of the moves you were talking about when Austin takes a big bump. Yep. Dude Love slams him into that. Dude's going to attempt a suplex onto the guardrail, but Austin reverses and suplex Dude onto the steel steps. And that was probably worse than the toss off the bandstand onto the concrete. This looked pretty damn rough. Just because, the steps, the way that they're, the nature of steps makes for a lot of potential danger there. Hitting your neck and hitting your head. And just, So, it looked very rough. So, Dude's going to try to run away again. He's going to go into the crowd. Austin follows him into the crowd, brings him back into the ringside area, and then gets him back in the ring. Dude Love comes back real quickly with the swinging neck breaker, and this is going to give Dude some time to recover. And Dude Love's going to get to the corner of the ring, and he's going to set up some sweet shin music. I love that. Sweet shin music.
Shin music, yeah.
Because Dude Love can't lift his leg up high enough to do a crescent kick. So he can only reach the shins. Oh, that's great. So Austin's going to block the sweet shin music. He's going to spin him around. And Dude's going to attempt a clothesline, but Austin ducks it. Dude nails the ref with the clothesline. So now we have a situation where the ref is out. He deserves to be knocked out for all those shitty non-count outs. So Austin and Dude continue to fight during this all. Austin's going to nail him with the stunner. He's going to try to nail him with the stunner. But Dude actually blocks it, gets the mandible claw locked in on Austin. Austin is going to try to fight it off. Dude's hand is still in his mouth. Then Dude low blows Austin. McMahon gets into the ring. He's trying to wake up the ref. So you have Austin down and out with the mandible claw on him. The ref won't even get up. The ref's like totally knocked out. Dude breaks the hold. He lets go. And he's going to try to get it back on again. But Austin's going to hip toss him out of the ring. And Austin's going to grab a chair from outside the ring. McMahon's trying to take it from him. They struggle over the chair. Dude pushes the chair into Austin's face. And Dude's going to attack with that chair. But Austin elbows the chair back into Dude's face. So yeah, some pretty stiff shit going on here with the chairs and the steps.
Yeah.
And McMahon is trying to help Dude Love up at this point. But Austin's going to whack McMahon like fucking hardcore to the dome with that chair. Solid steel chair shot to the head. And this is like my oh hell yeah moment. Right here is the chair shot to McMahon. Fucking like a baseball bat whack to the head. So Austin's going to toss Dude back into the ring. He hits him with the stunner again. The ref never comes to. He's just totally out. And Austin's going to do his own 3 count. And then his music actually hits after this illegal 3 count. Austin's going to raise the belt. Vince McMahon gets put on a stretcher after the match. Moments go by after all the hoopla of Austin celebrating and McMahon getting put on a stretcher. They announce that Stone Cold has been disqualified for hitting a WWF official. The winner by disqualification is Dude Love. So Dude Love actually gets the win here by DQ because Stone Cold hit Vince McMahon with the chair. So in this case, we're not going to follow the rules for the whole match, but then we're going to end it with a DQ. Those are the things that kind of just annoy me. No rules, but when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the finish, fuck it.
Yeah, no. We're going to throw the rule book in. We just threw it away. Let's bring that shit back.
Yeah, pick that out of the garbage. We need it now.
Whoa. Mistake. Mulligan. Bring it back.
So definitely fun match. I like the timing of the match. It's only 19 minutes, but that's a good length for a match. Anything more than 20, it needs to be really good to be lasting longer than that. So good timing of the match, good brawl work, a lot of stiff shots. The finish, I mean, it's still fun because it's just it's building more heat for Austin and McMahon, which is where they're going. So in that case, it's fine, but still some iffy things there. I give it 3.5 skulls. Almost 4, but I went with 3.5. What say you, JV?
I went with 4 skulls because the crowd was so into it.
Yeah, you're right.
I felt that helped. That helped the match a lot.
Yeah, great atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere was just pretty dope. So I went with probably an overrating, but I give it 4 skulls.
It's not bad. I was thinking 4 too, but yeah, that's kind of what dropped it for me. And we're not done with Dude Love and Steve Austin because next week or the following week we'll be talking about another one from Over the Edge at the Next in Your House. Dude Love versus Steve Austin again. And it's also the match that we'll be covering on March 16th. Will be our watch-along match for Austin 316 Day. So be looking forward to watching that in live commentary. And it's better than this one. So at least that's what the review said. I don't remember from my own opinion, but according to some ratings, it ranks higher than this match, which, hey, something good, something to look for. Something to look forward to in 10 days. All right, so Unforgiven, the pay-per-view, wasn't a bad pay-per-view. I ended up watching it all, and there were some good things about it. So let's go over some of the side notes for the other matches on this card. And I'll start with Triple H. Triple H is going to defend the European title against Owen Hart. And the thing that was cool about this match was Chyna in a cage. So at one point, Chyna's in the cage, and she breaks out of it. She's so strong that she could pull the bars apart. But then she's freaking dangling from it. She ends up, trying to get out, but then she's dangling. She's lifting herself back up, like her legs, and wrapping around. She's doing like pull-ups.
It got to the point where it was like, is she afraid of heights? Like,
yeah, that's what it looked like.
This through.
Right, I feel like she was afraid, and they didn't know if she was gonna fall, so then they lowered it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
Yep. Yeah,
because she was hanging on for way longer than she probably should have.
Right. So they were like, "Fucking lower this shit." So then they show like the back of Road Dogg's head, like he's the one that did it. So they probably said, "Hey, Road Dogg, get out there. We gotta do this little clip real quick of you pulling this down.
We need to save this.
Yeah,
possibly her. So
right, because because really it didn't tie into the finish of the match, anything she did.
No.
So from there,
kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of, because with all that going on,
distraction.
she's posing as a distraction. you have the referees now trying to stop her because she's not in the cage. So at that time, Owen Hart's looking out at what's going on, while X-Pac sneaks up from behind and hits him with a fire extinguisher. So, yeah, I guess she does play into it. So, I did like the finish. I did like the whole hanging and dangling from the cage. And then after that match, Owen Hart's, he's going to cut a little promo. He's pissed off, and he gives his enough is enough. I've had it up to here with this bullshit. Enough is enough. Things around here have to change. There needs to be change around here. So it's not quite the enough is enough, and it's time for a change, but it's the genesis of that, of what would become that. And it's not far off. It's only like 1 or 2 weeks away from Owen Hart being the enough is enough and it's time for a change. It's going to be his new music. And so that was a pretty decent side note. And I don't know if you noticed, but I just had to point this out, that there's a lot of quick cuts after the segments. I feel like things were removed from the show. They'll have the match, then it'll end, and then it's like immediately the next match. It's doesn't flow right like normal. So they had to have cut shit out in between the matches.
Edited, you think, or something?
Yeah, there's probably some segments that they just got rid of.
Mm-hmm.
It could have just been like advertisement things. All right, we got a bra and panties match, or at this point, it's not even called bra and panties match. It's called the evening gown match. We got Sable versus Luna.
Evening gown.
And the first thing that stuck out to me when I was watching this match is that once Sable's music hits, it's like the kitty cat, wow, wow, whatever, fucking tiger or lion, whatever. And then it cuts to this middle-aged guy, and he's nodding his head, and he's like, yeah, what's up? Then you look up at his sign, and it says Sable, free tongue bath.
What a creep.
So Jerry Lawler's even like, look at that. So JR is talking about Sable's entrance, and he says,
hey, you know what, that guy with the sign is like if a guy that comments on porn videos was like personified.
Yeah, probably.
All right, continue.
Oh man! All right, so Jared just points out something about the ovation that she's getting. He says, "You'd think Ric Flair walked out here. What a heck of a pop," as they say. So I wanted to point that out because at this point right here, Ric Flair was thought to be possibly a surprise guest at this Unforgiven. So there was rumors going around that Ric Flair was going to be there because it was in Greensboro. He didn't have a deal with WCW at this point because he's in a lawsuit with them, or something to that effect. So there were some rumors, and JR kind of teases it a little bit. You think Ric Flair was going to be here. So I thought that was cool. Playing the crowd.
Toying with it.
Yeah. So we get some perverted Jerry Lawler in that match too, which was great. So JR's like, "Oh, that was a nice firearm carry." Jerry Lawler responds, "I don't want to see any fireman carries. I want to see tomatoes, globes, cantaloupes, baby, headlights. I want to see the dairy farm. Yahoo!" I love that last line. I want to see the dairy farm. Oh man. So yeah, this match reminded me again of how damn smoking Sable was at this time when she gets all her shit ripped off and she's just in her bra and panties. Look amazing.
Oh yeah, everything's perfect.
I feel like I'm gradually getting perverted in this Attitude Era that we're watching.
Yeah,
it's bringing me back to being a 15-year-old.
Yeah, my intelligence is going backwards.
Yeah. All right, so that's a bra and panties match. Then you had the first ever Inferno match, so we got to talk about that. I thought the match looked damn cool with the whole setup with the flames. Just throughout the entire match, you had those flames there, so it creates that tension of oh, somebody might fall in that, or just look dangerous. Like anything could happen with fire. You can't totally control it, so it could just be a mistake. Something could happen. So the ropes look so close and the turnbuckles look so close to the fire. Like, you would think that it might just catch, but it didn't. It may have had some repellent type shit on the ropes and stuff, maybe, just to make sure.
Probably.
Yeah. But the one thing I thought for the audience and crowd is that the Flames looked like they may have been a distraction. Because every time there was a big spot, the Flames would come rising up higher.
Yep.
They had the guy. They showed him once, kind of like as an accident. It looked like he's got like a kind of looks like a sound table or whatever the fuck you call it, with all the levels, and he's like moving them for the Flames, the four sides of the ring.
Yeah, you can see him adjusting like the gas flow.
Yeah,
or whatever they were using to. Yeah.
It was kind of like a peek at the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, messing with the fire. So, the Flames, like I said, could have been a distraction because you're missing shit going on in the ring because the Flames go up and they cover a whole bunch of shit. So, Kane starts to walk off. He gets out of the ring, and he's walking back, and all of a sudden Vader's back. Vader's made his return here. He's been out for like 3 months, and he was in a feud last with Kane before he left, and he's going to punch Kane back to the ring. They both get down. Vader and Kane get down to the ring, and you have The Undertaker flying, jumping over the top ropes, jumping over the Flames, landing a plancha, and that looked awesome. Just flying over the ropes and the Flames, a big man like that. Oh, that was some good shit.
I thought that was a good match, the Inferno match. So.
Oh, definitely. And you got Paul Bearer gets hit in the head. He gets busted open. Gets hit in the head with a drum from the bandstand. They're really taking advantage of that bandstand again. You got Kane. He gets pushed into the ropes. So they're fighting outside. He gets pushed into the ropes. That gets his arm caught on fire. So the Undertaker wins because Kane got set on fire. So definitely cool match. Cool Inferno match. They're going to do another one not too long from now. With Kane and Stone Cold that we'll be covering. But yeah, this was cool. This was definitely better than the WrestleMania match from last month. In my opinion. What do you think? Did you like the Mania match or the Inferno match more?
That's a tough one. I think the Inferno match.
Yeah, definitely. Go with the Inferno match. All right, so that wraps up.
Just the theatrics. I mean, it was the one of a time. It was the first of its time. I mean, I remember being super hyped for that with my brother, and then when they put it in a video game, I was hyped again.
I didn't realize it was in a video game.
Yeah, it got put into a video game like a few years later.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget which one, but it was definitely in like I want to say one of like the PlayStation titles, the first PlayStation, or maybe even a PlayStation 2 title, because my brother and I just all we did was have hardcore matches when we play together.
Yeah,
and then they had the Inferno match, and it was just like, whoa, there's fire! It sucked. It was totally disappointed in the video game, but it was there.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. All right, so let's move on to our last Raw for this week. It's Raw 257. This is April 27th, 1998. This is happening from Hampton, Virginia, live the night after Unforgiven. And it's going to start off with get some thoughts from JR and Cole that Stone Cold may be fired. He may be fined. He could be suspended for his actions last night at Unforgiven for hitting Vince McMahon in the head with a chair. So let's get right into it. The show's going to start off just like the last Raw with a Love Shack promo. So this is going to happen at the 13-minute mark on the episode. So take a listen to the promo, to the Love Shack, and then we'll talk about it after that.
On that as soon as we get the information. What is this? Now, you know what they say, dude love is a chick magnet, I guess. Believe that. He came within an eyelash of being the WWF champion last night at Unforgiven in a physical war with the Rattlesnake.
Oh, show them what you got, ladies, because we are at the Love Shack.
He sure is a chick magnet, JR. Look at him.
Well. It was a hot night indeed. A bigger night than Woodstock. A bigger night than John and Yoko's Love-In. A bigger night than when the dude used to prowl Hef's mansions. And I'll tell you something, ladies. By the end of the evening, the dude could appreciate why all these people love old Stone Cold. The dude could understand why at one time Steve Austin was my main man, my bestest friend, and my confidant. Because Stone Cold, ladies, is a tough cookie. And the dude would be lying if he said he wasn't hurting just a little bit. But last night, girls, the dude took that tough cookie, he chewed him up, and he spit him out. Ow!
Well, you can judge for yourself on the encore tomorrow night on pay-per-view.
And after the hanging and banging was over, after the shucking and jiving was through, after the dude put on the performance of his lifetime, well, my gas tank was running on E. So I hope you people will understand that when I took the ladies up to the room, oh, I knew what they wanted. I looked into their eyes, filled with lust, filled with longing, and I had to break the bad news and say, ladies, tonight the dude just needs to be held. So not only did the ladies miss out on a beautiful night of passion, but the dude is now without the gold because Stone Cold took the easy way out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He tried to be counted out to save his championship belt. But my McMahon man talked him out of it, challenged his manhood, forced him back into the ring. And then finally, girls, when the chips were down, when the momentum was swinging all the way towards the dude, he resorted to a blatant and atrocious cheap shot when he took out the main man, the head honcho, the big cheese, the top dog, Vince McMahon. So now the way I see it, we have three choices, and maybe we can all take a little vote on this one. Number one, we find the ex-champion, Shawn Michaels, oh, he is no chick magnet, ladies. We match him up against the dude, and we see who the champ should be. Number two, we have a little tournament, and based on my acts last night, the dude has got to be considered the number one seed.
Nobody buying that one either.
Or number three, and this is the one I'm leaning towards, we fire Steve Austin, we strip him of the belt, and we hand it on over to the dude.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
If you like what's behind door number three, everybody, give me an oh, hell yeah. Now come on to the back and let the dude make it up to you. Let's boogie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do not know what's going to happen here tonight. Will Austin be fired by Vince McMahon? Will he be stripped of the title? Something big is going to go down right here tonight.
All right, so Dude Love, he comes out, and he's got these 2 smoking blonde chicks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
2
Especially
dudettes.
the one on the right.
The one on the right, definitely.
Oh man.
The shorter one. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Huh. So this is much better than the 30-somethings that he had when he first came out back in July.
Yeah.
Those 2 like middle-aged women.
Those musty bitches.
Yeah,
Those were musty. Those were musty bitches.
Yeah. So now he's got like some 22-year-old girls with him, working their way into the business.
Yep.
What business? I don't know. Probably the stripper business.
Any business they want.
Yeah. All right, so dude's he's gonna talk about Stone Cold, obviously. So he talks about his former main man, Stone Cold. Stone Cold's a tough cookie, but last night the dude chewed him up and spit him out. Ow! Tough cookie, but I chewed him up. I chewed up the cookie. Good wordplay there. I like it.
A lot of backhanded compliments here by Dude Love.
Yeah, it does.
Stone Cold in this one.
Yep. So he goes on to say, after the hanging and banging was over, after the shucking and jiving was through, the dude put on a performance of a lifetime. My gas tank was on E. I had to tell the girls with lust in their eyes, the dude just needs to be held. And then you get a nice, beautiful ass shot from the chick on the right.
I watched that more than once.
At the 16-minute mark. He says, the dude is without the gold because Stone Cold took the easy way out. Meaning that he tried to get himself disqualified, he's saying. Which, obviously, he was not trying to get himself disqualified. But that's how the dude's going to play it. Yep. So, I like that, though. I like when they use that to spin it a different way. Say, you were trying to get away from me. So, and then he also even says he tried to get counted out. But bullshit, we know the referee wasn't counting out anybody that night. Except for that one instance that he's talking about. You tried to get counted out, and my McMahon man had to challenge your manhood and force you back into the ring. So get back in the ring. Be a man, get back in the ring. That's the only time that Austin was getting counted out. And he's like, you were trying to get counted out. Like, no, not happening. So dude thinks he should be the number 1 contender still. And I mean, it only makes sense. I agree with him there. He should be the number 1 contender. He was in a match and ended in DQ. He won by DQ. So he should be number 1 contender. Get another shot. So he says, I should be the number 1 seed. Then he even goes to the extreme of, we should just fire Steve Austin and strip him of the belt and hand it over to the dude. If you agree with that, give me a hell yeah. And you get crickets. Nobody's saying hell yeah to him. So he wants to just, he's just being a big heel. He's doing some good shit here. He's acting like he's such a ladies' man and he's all confident. But it's Mick Foley, and you're like, bullshit. You ain't no ladies' man. You look like shit. Your hair sucks. You have no teeth. And you look awkward. So it's great heat to build because you have this guy, thinking that he's something special. And we're like, no, you're not. Foley's good at just being whatever. He's great at being the babyface. He's great at being the heel. Like, on a turn of a dime. Like, I don't know if they've done it. I would imagine they would do this. But I don't remember off the top of my head of the instance that with his 3 different characters, they could have had him have like Dude Love as a babyface and Cactus Jack as a heel at the same time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't know if they did that. They might have, but I don't. It doesn't stick out as happening.
I can't remember if it did happen. It may have happened, but
I'd be shocked
20 years.
If they didn't at least like tow it even for just a couple of weeks.
All right. I'm interested in seeing if that comes up because that's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you do that? You got this guy with 3 different characters. Make one of them a heel. Make one of them a babyface.
3 developed characters at that.
Yeah, right. So if anybody knows just off the top of your head, if you remember Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. Hey, dumbasses. It happened then.
Yeah.
Don't you remember that shit?
Idiots.
Feel free. We don't care. All right, so good little shit there. Then from there, you go to McMahon and Gerald Briscoe are going to come out. They're going to do a little promo, and we're going to play that for you now. So take a listen. It starts at 29 minutes and 20 seconds if you're watching on the network. Well, take a listen here. Then we'll talk about it after that while my voice cracks.
Tonight, I come before you with a heavy heart. Over the last 24 hours, I've pined. Indeed, I've had to make some very difficult decisions. But firstly, I would like to clear up any speculation as to whom Stone Cold Steve Austin was attempting to strike with that metal chair last night. The more uninitiated and naive of you may assume it was Dude Love when in fact, I know that Stone Cold Steve Austin was trying to take my head off. As a result of that brutal and blatant attack, I have sustained a mild concussion. I've experienced dizziness and even nausea. But nonetheless, none of those side effects of the concussion have in any way clouded my judgment as I stand before you tonight. Should I fire Stone Cold Steve Austin? Well, not yet.
Huh.
You see, firing you would be too good for you, Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I have other plans.
What is he talking about?
And those other plans are that right here in this ring tonight, Stone Cold Steve Austin will defend the World Wrestling Federation Championship against Goldust.
Wow. I don't know how fair that is after the war that Austin was in last night with Dude Love.
Now, right now, I would like to introduce to you the official who will be refereeing this championship match live here tonight on Raw. He's a former World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion. He is a family friend. He's a trusted official, and indeed, a warm and caring human being. He is Gerald Briscoe. Mr. Briscoe.
So Briscoe's going to be the ref for the championship match tonight?
That's what he's saying. He's been a long-time friend of Vince McMahon. He's one of in McMahon's inner circle. There's only 2 or 3 people in that inner circle. Briscoe is one of those. I don't know how objective he'll be as a referee or how much experience he has as a referee.
Mr. Briscoe, I'd like to inform you and everyone else that's listening that if Stone Cold Steve Austin lays a hand, if Stone Cold Steve Austin lays one finger on you tonight as your capacity as the guest referee, Austin's contract will be terminated and it will be immediate revocation of the WWF Championship. Now I ask you in all candor, will you be an unbiased and impartial official?
Yes, sir, Mr. McMahon.
Are you afraid of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Well, you told me if he touches me.
Absolutely. If he touches you, he will be fired immediately, and the WWF title will be stripped, taken from him immediately.
I'm not afraid of Stone Cold Steve Austin and under those circumstances.
All right, just one other question for Mr. Briscoe, and that is, will you officiate this matchup in the time-honored tradition of World Wrestling Federation referees?
Please. Yes, sir, Mr. McMahon.
Well, then there's only one other question that all of you must be asking yourself right now, and that is, should Goldust become the WWF champion here tonight live on Raw, then what sort of representative would Goldust make as the WWF champion? Well, in my humble and personal opinion, anyone would be better than the champion we have now.
And there's the handshake.
Man, this is really not fair for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin was in a war last night in Greensboro. I can't believe my Oklahoma buddy Gerald Briscoe is well, I guess you got to do what you got to do when you got a family. I don't know. Vince, our Mr. McMahon has a lot of power. Well, there he is. Uh-oh. That rattlesnake just heard the news, just like we did, and he's damn sure not happy.
All right, so as Vince McMahon comes out, the crowd is chanting Austin like crazy. Austin, Austin. It's wicked loud. So McMahon's out there. I come before you with a heavy heart. I had to make some difficult decisions. I have a mild concussion. Should I fire Stone Cold Steve Austin? You got a big hell no from the crowd. He says, well, not yet. Firing you, that'd be too good for you. I have other plans. Right here in this ring tonight, you will defend the title against Goldust. Oh, Goldust. All right, what the hell has he done? Like, okay, Goldust.
Yeah, I know. Out of nowhere.
Yeah. So Vince McMahon introduces. What are you gonna say?
I can see why he picked Goldust, which he kind of hints to it. Is he picks Goldust because as bad as Goldust is, it's still better than Stone Cold.
Yeah, that is good.
You know what I mean? If he were to win the championship, you know.
He's like, yeah, I don't care who the champion is at this point, as long as it's not Steve Austin.
Even crazy cross-dressing, multi-personality Goldust. Because right now he's going through all phases of like personality disorders and stuff. So
yeah, he's as bad as Mick Foley at this point.
Yeah.
So McMahon is going to set up that match. He's going to announce a special guest referee, which is going to be Gerald Briscoe. And you get the stipulation that if Austin touches Briscoe during the match, it's immediate removal of the championship. So McMahon asks him, are you going to be an unbiased official? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. McMahon. Yes, sir, Mr. McMahon.
Briscoe was my favorite of the two goons.
Me too. Yeah, he had a little bit more of the personality than Patterson showed. I mean, Patterson would do some funny shit too eventually, but
yeah, they were both good. But I just something about Briscoe. I thought he was just funny.
Yeah,
he looks more because he kind of reminds me of like Mo from the Three Stooges.
Yeah,
I don't know if just because he has like short brown hair, probably like a total reach, but
I can see it. Briscoe says, I'm not afraid of Stone Cold Steve Austin under these circumstances. Anyone would be a better champion than the one we have right now. So, cool little setup for a Raw to have a, just out of nowhere championship match where, something could happen. He could get screwed again. So, McMahon is just trying to screw Austin over week after week at this point. So, you got a little backstage segment where Dude Love is pretty pissed off that Goldust is getting the title shot. Yeah. So he's not happy about it. He beat Austin last night by DQ. He feels like he should be number one contender. And he tells McMahon that this is not what they talked about. So that kind of alludes to, maybe there is some kind of conspiracy going on. And McMahon is uncomfortable. He says, I want those cameras off. I own that mic. I own that camera. Shut it off. Shut it off. So there is some definitely... they're definitely talking about possible conspiracy with Dude. Like, we talked about it. This is what was supposed to happen. McMahon gets a little pissed off there. So, Dude Love's going to attack Goldust during an interview. and he's screaming about, this is my title shot. That should be my title shot. So Dude Love is not happy or pleased with Goldust at this point. All right, we got a little brief audio clip of Austin being interviewed by Michael Cole. Take a listen to that.
Rattlesnake.
Mr. Austin, it's been a rather eventful 24 hours for you.
It's been 24 hours, hell, ever since I won the damn belt. Vince McMahon has tried to do every single thing he can do to get me to drop the belt to someone else. It ain't gonna happen. You can have a special referee, you can have a special timekeeper, you can have a special jackass. It really doesn't matter to me. I'll defend the damn title every night of the week if I got to. You ain't gonna screw me out of nothing because I'll beat your ass. If someone can beat me, then so be it. But I'm going to cause you as many gray hairs as I can put on your knotted up head. You ain't never, ever going to get rid of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line.
He needs to be fired, and you know it.
All right, so Stone Cold Steve Austin just kind of points out, and he says, ever since I won the damn belt, Vince McMahon has tried to do everything he can do to get me to drop the belt to someone else. It ain't going to happen. You can have a special ref, a special timekeeper, a special jackass. It really doesn't matter to me. I'll defend the damn title every night if I have to. You ain't going to screw me out of nothing because I'll beat your ass. If someone can beat me, then so be it. I'll keep putting gray hairs on your head. You ain't never, ever going to get rid of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nice and quick. Love that. Good shit. Then he squirts water all over Michael Cole's jacket.
The hazing of Michael Cole continues.
Yep. By everybody.
Yeah.
By DX, by Stone Cold. And that brings us now to this championship match. It's pretty quick. It's only an 8-minute match. It's right at the end of Raw again. It starts at 1 hour, 20 minutes. So it's the final segment. Goldust is going to come out. He has his original entrance music. He's wearing his original attire. So it's like the first time that he's been that Goldust since September of 97 when he was feuding with Pillman. So ever since Pillman has been gone, he's been going through that stage of being the artist formerly known as Goldust. Now it looks like he's back to Goldust, but don't get used to it because he's not going to be Goldust for long because Dustin's coming in soon. They didn't know what the hell to do with this guy at this point.
No, they really didn't.
So we got that stipulation. If Austin touched Briscoe, he loses his title. So let's see how that all plays out. Vince McMahon comes strutting down to the ring. Vince steps in as the timekeeper. He has the world championship in his hands. Austin is going to kick off this match real quick by stomping Goldust into the corner. And you get a nice clothesline. You get a nice quick cover. Get a damn good suplex from Austin to Goldust for a 2 count. And Austin is trying frequent counts. He wants to get this match over with. He's trying to make short work of Goldust so that he doesn't get in a situation where he might get his hands on Briscoe or he gets screwed by Vince McMahon. So he's trying to get this match over with. So Goldust gives a nice little solid lariat to Austin. He goes for a cover. And at this point, Briscoe's being very impartial. He's being a good ref. So nothing to complain about there. He's probably better than Mike Chioda was in the night before. So you get a normal count. So he's not like doing a fast count or anything. Goldust does a roll up and Briscoe does the fast count in this case though. So he's doing a fast 2 count. Austin kicks out, then Austin's going to yell at Briscoe. Briscoe asks for Austin to punch him in the chin. It's like, punch me in the chin, punch me in the chin. Like egging him on. So Austin restrains himself there. Goldust is going to take advantage of that. He's going to hit a bulldog, and Austin's going to come back with the takedown just moments after that. Goldust tosses Austin outside the ring. Austin gets whipped into the steel steps outside the ring, and they're battling on the security rail. Goldust gives a low blow to Austin right in front of the referee. JR points out nothing happens there. So actually, this is a pretty damn solid match for Raw. And
yep.
I mean, it's short, but if it was a different, if it had a bigger match feel, like not just thrown together, it could have been right up there with the Dude Love match from the night before.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna get to. Are we skull rating this one?
I wasn't going to,
but just when I was thinking about it, because there was no build, I think is the only reason why I don't grade it as high as the Dude Love and Stone Cold match.
Right. Yeah, I would put it as a nice solid 3, I think. 3 skulls.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a good match, and you're getting Austin 2 nights in a row, so you can see that he's starting to do a little better. He's starting to feel a little better. He's actually having some solid in-ring action at this point. And Goldust is kind of going all out in this match, too. So Goldust applies a sleeper hold at one point. Austin's going to give him the mule kick and break the hold. McMahon is shown with the hammer for the bell in his hand. And Austin's going to hit the stunner on Goldust. Briscoe starts to count, but then he stops after the 2 count and looks to check his eye. He's like, oh, something's in my eye. Something's in my eye. Then you get Dude Love runs in. Dude Love clothesline Stone Cold. Throws him out of the ring. They stop the battle on the outside. We don't get DQ yet. Austin is trying to avoid touching Briscoe, but Briscoe is touching him, which is bullshit. You can touch me, but I can't touch you. So, McMahon has the belt in his hand, and they're on the outside of the ring. And Austin's going to try to hit Austin from behind while he's arguing with Briscoe. But Austin moves, and McMahon's going to nail Briscoe in the back of the head or like in the shoulder, it looked like. Yep. And he falls to the ground. And Austin gives the double birds to McMahon. The bell finally rings. I don't know why. There's no winner, right? I guess it would be a DQ. Dude Love came out, clotheslined Austin. So if anything, it should be Austin wins by DQ. So we don't have a real winner to that match. Briscoe got busted open apparently. Yeah, I didn't notice it. JV, you noticed it. So
yeah, there's some blood there. I don't know if it's blading incident or if it's just like it almost looks like he's using just like a blood capsule because I don't see where, like you said, he hits it. The belt hits him in like the shoulder area, and he's got blood on the top of his head.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but there's definitely blood present. Like maybe like 2 seconds after he takes the hit with the belt, and Vince McMahon kind of like pulls the belt away from Briscoe in a sense.
Yeah.
For like a better camera angle.
Yeah, so we had some good action there in that match. Good Raw match. It's always nice to see Stone Cold actually have a match on Raw, not just cutting promos, which is still fun, but
yeah.
Nice little treat to get a Stone Cold match here, and it continued the feud. It continued the build from the following night. Dude Love is now pissed because he's getting mistreated. He's not getting the title shot that he thinks he deserves. Goldust ends up with this title shot. Still got the heat with McMahon, who's trying to screw him out of the belt. Gerald Briscoe's now getting involved and being a special referee. So it's all continuing and starting to build up real nicely here. So we'll get into next week how it continues from this point on. But before we wrap things up, we'll just go over some side notes. And this episode of Raw is one of the bigger episodes of Raw. Okay, right up there with the Raw from April 13th, where Austin and McMahon have their match, quote-unquote match. But here on April 27th, this episode's remembered for the DX invasion of the Norfolk Scope in WCW Nitro. So this is one of the more memorable moments in WWF Raw history.
Yeah.
They had DX there. They got their army fatigues, the DX Army. They got their sexual innuendo going on over and over again. We're going to go down there. Go down where? Down here. And they crotch chop. So, all this shit that's funny to a 15-year-old. And, some of it still makes me laugh today, but it's a little cheesy at this point. But it's funny at the time because it wasn't normal. It was like, oh shit, you're not supposed to say that on TV. Oh, you can't do that on TV. So definitely cool. WWF had to be at this point, one of the first television programs to push it to that level, along with South Park. I would say, were the only ones that really stood out as
Jerry Springer.
Oh yeah, that's true. Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer kind of, I don't know which came first, but I think Jerry Springer started doing it's like just daytime talk show television in general. Even Oprah was a victim of, I don't even call her victim. She was a benefactor
of doing that shit.
Of shitty stage daily talk shows.
Right.
Maury Povich, Jerry Springer. These people still on TV?
Ricky Lake.
Oh, shit, yeah. Are any of them still on TV?
Jerry Springer still has TV, I think.
Yeah. What's Ricky Lake selling? Like a Thigh Master now or something?
No. I don't know what she's doing. But yeah, they all started out sleazy.
Yeah.
Some of them stepped it up to another level.
Oprah's a billionaire from
Right.
exploiting trash culture. Don't forget. She got her billions the same way Vince did.
Now, right, well, she didn't have a show now, but when she last had a show, it was just all celebrities all the time. Kind of like
Yeah.
kind of like how Ellen is now.
Yeah. Ellen, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, they just have famous people on. They don't have the white trash on anymore.
Yeah.
Like
And have the famous people
Phil
act like clowns.
Dr. Phil still has the just random people that have fucked up kids and fucked up marriages and shit.
This is like Jerry Springer with a little bit more like
a little bit more class.
Yeah, realism in class.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
So you got this back to the DX invasion. You got DX is talking to the crowd. They're outside the WCW Nitro at the Norfolk Scope in Virginia, and they're just talking to the crowd. Everyone's happy to see him. It's not like they're like, "Hey, you're DX, fuck out of here." They're like, "Oh,
hey, you're fucking celebrities."
Like, yeah, you're the guys from the other wrestling show I watch.
You guys look some of the coolest people in our lives right now.
I mean, I don't remember there being like any fan that was like totally supportive of one group, like WCW or WWF. Like with me, it was I'm gonna watch whatever is coolest at the time.
Oh, same here.
I was never like, oh fuck WCW, I'm not watching that shit. No, because it was all good. I mean, it was good to everything. Yep. So the fans benefited there. The fight was between WCW and WWF, not their fans.
Yeah, that was wrestling then. It wasn't WWF or WCW. You watched both.
Right, it was Monday night.
Button when there was a commercial.
Yep.
That was like the hype of it.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, there's nothing huge about this invasion. It's just they show up with the little Jeep thing and talking about shooting their loads and sucking it.
Yeah.
They point out about the free tickets. There had been this like rumor that the tickets were free because on the sign it says WCW Nitro, free tickets. But the free tickets was actually for something else going on at the Norfolk Scope. But it just the way it was filmed, it looked like WCW Nitro free tickets, like they were giving away tickets to Nitro.
Yep.
And they exploited that and used that big time. So that was
smart.
Yeah, smart. Yep. To make them look like shit. So you have them, they're going to try to go down the ramp to get into the building. Obviously, they're not going to get in. But, it was cool. Just like at that time for WWF people to be at WCW, just the idea that maybe they would have a confrontation with somebody from WCW on TV, just exciting shit at the time. Too bad something didn't happen. It would have been great if something happened, but
yeah, it would have been.
It would have been huge.
Probably would have been too many lawsuits though.
Right?
So.
Yeah, they would have been. So that's pretty much it with DX and the invasion. We have a little bit with The Rock. The Rock uses for the first time. Finally, the People's Champ has come to Hampton. So I believe that's the first time he uses the finally have come, or he hasn't said returned yet, but he's laying the foundation down. He has to arrive at these places first. Then in the future he'll say he returned.
He's doing his first tour right now.
Yeah, he's on his first tour. All right, so you got a match here: Rock and Mark Henry versus Owen Hart and Shamrock. The Rock is going to do what he did a few weeks back when he had the nation turn on Farouk. He's going to give that what becomes known as the people's eyebrow. He's going to give that people's eyebrow to Owen, and then Owen's going to turn on Ken Shamrock. And we get the new Owen, the enough is enough, and it's time for a change, Owen Hart. He's going to join the nation. The crowd's like legit pissed. And they're pegging Owen Hart off. They're like, fuck you, fuck you. Owen Hart's going to Pillmanize Shamrock. Steve Blackman comes out to help, but he gets beat down by the nation. Hart gets Shamrock in a sharpshooter for a long time. And I just thought, all right, this is cool. Finally, you got to heel Owen Hart. Owen Hart trying to be babyface always sucks. Because he's such a better heel.
Yeah, yep.
As a babyface, he's just cheesy.
Yep.
You need Johnny Lawrence to be a heel, not a good guy. Damn it. When I say Johnny Lawrence, I'm talking about Owen Hart. All right, so there was one other thing with Val Venus. I think this is one of his last vignettes. He's set to debut soon, so he hasn't come yet, but he's coming. He's on the set of The Big Valboski, and it looks like my grandparents' backyard that he's in, Westport, Massachusetts. So he has this, just like a random general backyard. It's not even a movie set. But he's filming Big Valboski, and he's got this blonde chick. She's pretty damn smoking. So it was like, who the hell is that? I was thinking in my head, who the hell is that? And this just reminds me of how, like, on YouPorn, you'd be like wondering, who is that? And you can always go to the comments, and there's always comments, who is that? Or, who's the other girl? Who's the other girl in this scene?
Yeah.
Like,
someone send me the link to the full video.
Yeah. Who's the blonde? But then
that's Piper Perry.
Yeah, Piper Perry. When I wrote this in my notes, I was like, it's like the guy's, it's Marsha Cummings. Like, come on, bro, get with the program. You don't know who that is? Like, you got these jerk-off specialists that know all the names of everybody.
We know who the guy is with the comments. It's the guy from early in this episode we talked about with the side disabled.
That's the crazy thing too. If like you're reading the comments, and you had to now put it in your head like all these comments were written when people had just jerked off.
Oh shit, nasty.
Oh man. So Val Venus is coming. Anyway, yeah.
Funny.
Quick little side note: Paul Bearer is going to announce that Kane is his son, and he slept with Undertaker's mother. And there'll be more to come with that next week that we'll talk about on the side notes.
Jerry.
Some pretty funny stuff. Yeah, Jerry Lawler is going to get Paul Bearer to speak about the time they hooked up.
Jerry Lawler turns into Jerry Springer.
Yeah, pretty much. The Undertaker versus Barry Windham. Yeah, you have this rare Undertaker match. He's going to make quick work here. But Windham must be thinking, like, I used to be the NWA World Champ when this guy was a jobber. Now I'm the jobber. So when I was thinking of that, it made me think, like, that's like a lesson in just being humble in your job and what you do in your life. Because you never know what's to come in your life, what's in store for you. So you shouldn't look down on others because one day you could be that one that's down and out in a shitty situation. And you just kind of need to be humble in your life. Like, you got to get off your high horse sometimes and realize, appreciate that you are in a spot that you like in your life, but it could be a lot worse. You could lose it all. So that's just what that made me think of. So that's a little Pruism for all you all out there, is that you need to eat humble pie sometimes. And it doesn't come with whipped cream. It tastes like shit. Humble pie sucks. And we all experience it from time to time, so don't shit on other people. And don't think you're too big for your britches, because you can come falling down that tree at some point. And you don't want that. Life lessons from Mike Prue. Mr. Prue. All right, so there was a little advertisement that just brought me back to the 90s, and it was the Burst Gum ad. Cinnaburst, Mintaburst, Fruitaburst, with the flavor crystals, Bite the Burst. Just remind me of all the times that we used to go to Star Market.
Oh, yeah.
Just remember getting those gums. I believe those were the gum that you could eat the wrapper. Or at least people said you could eat the wrapper. And I was a dumbass and ate the wrapper, too. But wasn't there a gum that you could eat the wrapper? Like a cinnamon gum that it was okay to just eat?
Yeah, I remember. It wasn't Orbits. It was... Well, I don't know if you were supposed to, but people said you could. So you just take out the pack and you eat it. upperclassman told us that or something. I think I was always just like, nah, I'm going to take it out the wrapper, bro.
I was like, let me try that. It's like, after a few bites, it starts to blend in.
Yeah.
Biodegradable. Yeah. Oh, dumbass Mike Brew, back in the 90s. All right, so that wraps up the episode. That's our side notes for Raw from April 27th, 1998. That was Raw 257. So let's kind of get to our closing segment here. And the house show rundown. Guess what? No house show rundown, because there were no house shows during that span of 2 weeks that we just covered. Hey, let's move on now to the oh hell yeah and the oh hell no moments of the week. My oh hell yeah moment, I kind of pointed out to you already, is when Vince McMahon takes that chair shot from Steve Austin at the end of the Dude Love match, in which he gets in some heat with, and he gets forced to fight Goldust the next night because of that chair shot to Vince McMahon, who he concussed. So that's my oh hell yeah moment of the week. JV, what about you?
My hell yeah moment.
My oh yeah.
Is this a Macho Man podcast?
Oh yeah moment.
I wrote it down here. Let me pull it up. It was. I knew I should have put an asterisk. Sorry, listeners. Was Austin? I remember now. Austin counting himself to victory, even though he doesn't have to.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. What about oh hell no? You got to know hell no off the top of your head?
No, I didn't write one down. I guess my question: does hell no have to be something with Stone Cold?
No.
Or anything we covered?
Yeah, anything.
Oh, the dude with the sign in the crowd for Sable.
You didn't like that? That's a hell no. Tongue bath?
No, it's a hell no. That's a hell no.
Sable tongue bath? Hell no.
Hell no. I just got a bad picture of that guy in my head now.
Sable free tongue bath sign. Yeah.
I drew that guy in my head, and he sucks.
That's the same guy that's writing Piper Perry in the YouPorn chat.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
All right, my
signs after he jerks off.
All right, my oh hell no. It's tough to come up with a hell no because in the side notes I kind of eliminated all the shitty side notes I didn't want to talk about. So it's kind of just mostly good shit here. But my oh hell no. I don't think I have an oh hell no moment. So I guess the oh hell no moment would be Undertaker versus Barry Windham. That's the oh hell no. There's nothing, nothing special about that, and it led me to go on a life lesson. So anytime it leads me to a life lesson, that means it's not any good. All right, so that's that. That's our oh hell yeah and our oh hell no. And next week coming up, episode 25, we continue into May of 98. So we're going to cover about the first 3 weeks of May. Okay, so we're not going to get up to the Over the Edge pay-per-view. We're just going to cover the first 3 Raws of that month for episode 25. And in episode 26, we'll do the go-home show, Over the Edge, and the night after Over the Edge on June 1st, 1998. So that's what's in store for the next couple of weeks. And we also do have a watch-along coming up. So we will be talking about the Over the Edge match prior to covering it here on the Bottom Line Cast. We'll be doing that watch-along on March 16th, which is 10 days from the release of this episode. Okay, so that's what's coming up. We got 2 episodes for May of 98, and we also have that watch-along coming March 16th. 316 day. All right, so I want to give a little shout-out to Talking Taker, one of our podcast pals. Talking Taker covers the career of The Undertaker from start and up to this point. They're in 2002. They just reached January 2002. So this week they'll be covering the Royal Rumble of 2002. They'll be doing a watch-along this week. Yeah, they generally do a format similar to us, but this week they're just doing a watch-along episode on Royal Rumble 2002. And take a listen to Alex. Tell you a little bit about the podcast.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss The Undertaker's side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said, take her easy.
All right, so definitely take a listen to Talking Taker. Go back in their archives. A lot of great shit from a long period. So they started back in 1990, so you can go through the entire 90s of The Undertaker's career if you go back into the archives of Talking Taker. So definitely check them out. And also check out Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast with Mike Mills, Hardbody Hopper, and Doc Turner, where they cover NWA, WCW Saturday Night. They also cover Smoky Mountain Wrestling. On Thursdays, they drop the NWA Saturday Night episodes. This week, they'll be dropping November 21st, 1987, which is just days before Starrcade 87. And then on Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which they drop on Sunday, will be August 13th, 1994, episode 133. So just coming off the Night of Legends show and Fire on the Mountain. So take a listen to Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. And unprofessional has to do with the unprofessional nature of the show, which is hilarious. So take a look at Booking the Territory and also Talking Taker.
Hey, before you leave, hey!
And you can find us on this platform that you're listening to us on, but if you want to use a different app, we're also available on Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play, Radio Public, and a whole bunch of other ones that I didn't even realize we were on. We end up on there somehow. So basically you can find us anywhere. Just search Bottom Line Cast and you'll get a whole bunch of different places to go and find us on podcast platforms. Okay, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. Okay, we're at Bottom Line Cast, at Bottom Line Cast. You can find me, Mike Prue, at MPRU83, and JV at John Van Damage. So reach out to us on Twitter, on Facebook. Give us any suggestions, anything. Just communicate with us. We want to hear what our audience has to say. We have an audience. We just want to hear from you. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next week, like I said, with episode 25 covering the first few weeks of May 98, where this Austin McMahon saga continues. So I'm Mike Prue. For JV, we're out of here. Take care. So long.
what might have been. What I felt, what I've known. Never shine doing what I've shown. Never free, never me. So I dug the free, never me. So I dug the